Hi Aries. I'm going to be doing a self-love spread. This is a general self-love reading, so if it doesn't apply to you this week, I would like to try these every week, so you can go ahead and come back if you'd like. If you would like to receive a free self-love reading from me, my email address is in the box below. Again, these are self-love readings. They are aimed to illuminate areas where we can show ourselves more love. If someone else pops up in your reading, then I will read that. But these are really more targeted toward the individual watching, and so might not be beneficial to cross-watchers. I am going to do my spread with the Sun and Moon Tarot deck, and then I will be using the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck for clarification. Okay, let's go. This is going to be a 7-card spread. So 6 cards for self-love, and then the 7th is going to be the one where your angel or ancestor messages come through. Messages from your guides. What can we do? How can we help? The first card we're going to pull out is going to be how you see yourself. The second card is going to be why you feel like you cannot prioritize your own needs or areas where you need to focus. The third card is going to be where you might not be feeling worthy. The fourth card is going to be ways you can show yourself more, or ways you can show your more authentic self. The fifth card is going to be something that maybe you need to let go of. And our sixth card is something you need to acknowledge. And the seventh card, like I said, is going to be your angel or ancestor message. Okay, so to start off, we have the way you're feeling. Wow, the universe. That's a beautiful card. The universe in this deck represents the world, and the world is always a portal. It's an activation. It's transformation. It's change. It's possibilities. If you look around her, she's holding the elements. She's almost like the magician. She has fire, she has water, she's standing in the doorway. The child at the bottom, she's standing on a child. It just represents how far she's come. So right now, Aries, you might be feeling like you've made some kind of transition, or you're ready to transition. You feel like you can handle whatever is coming towards you. That's excellent. Now, why you might not be feeling like you can prioritize your own needs or yourself is this Prince of Swords. He came out in the reverse, but I don't really do reversals for this. So the Prince of Swords, he's like the Page of Swords. They're just beautiful cards. And the Page of Swords is usually somebody who comes with ideas or messages, maybe some clarity. They could be bringing it to you. So maybe right now you feel ready for transition, but the way that you feel that you can't prioritize that transition is going to be this lack of movement, this lack of ideas. Maybe you're waiting for a message, or maybe you're waiting for clarity on something, and it just hasn't shown up for you yet. Areas where you might not feel the most worthy, or areas that you can look into to feel more worth, it's going to be Temperance. This makes so much sense. So what might help you feel more worthy of this incredible transition that's coming to you is balance. And of course, patience. No one ever wants to hear balance and patience. But let's face it, we all go through areas in our lives where things just aren't happening. Nothing's changing. And we're just sitting around, and you get that prickly feeling inside. Maybe you get some anxiety and you realize, I know something big is coming, but what is it? Well, we're not sure yet. But we're going to have to be patient. We're just going to have to sit back and wait. We're not sure yet. But if you allow yourself to feel that patience, that balance, to minimize the anxiety and to decide for yourself how you want to wait, you might feel more worthy for this transition to come. The fourth card is ways you can show more of your most authentic self. The Ace of Swords. Oh. Well, the Ace of Swords talks about inspiration. In the upright, it's the divine giving you some sort of ideas, bringing you understanding. So maybe ways you can show yourself, your more authentic self, is by doing that waiting, is by embracing this change that's going to come, but giving yourself time to build up to it. Sometimes when we're about to transition or level up, we do have like a plateau period. I mean, we just worked so hard to get from the last step to this step. We deserve some rest. But a lot of us internalize that and we turn it into anxiety. So maybe a way that you can show yourself more authenticity is to allow for these ideas from the universe to transcend and come to you by accepting that some things just take time. I feel like being more authentic with yourself would be giving yourself a break, cutting yourself some slack. I mean, if something's not ready, you probably don't harp on the person you're waiting for. Like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Like, you probably are just like, oh, okay, no worries, I won't bother you. So, like, maybe give yourself some no worries and don't bother yourself about it for a little while. Just deep breaths and some relaxation, temperance, balance. Something you need to let go of. I really love this card, but it might not be the best in this position. So this is the moon. Look how pretty she is. But she's all alone. She has those pets down there, the dogs, and the two fish representing the Pisces, but she's alone. And the moon indicates illusions. So maybe in this particular situation, something that you need to let go of is this belief that you're all alone. I know a lot of the time it seems like we can be alone. I know a lot of the time sometimes I feel like I'm alone. But the truth is that, we surround ourselves with people that hopefully make us feel better about ourselves. We have family and we have friends. We have people we can talk to. I think one of the biggest illusions that we tell ourselves is that we're alone. Or even worse, that we're a burden on other people. Maybe sometimes we feel like we're about to transition into this amazing stage and we might have to leave others behind, and that we might feel alone or afraid to be alone because of that. So something you might need to let go of is this illusion of loneliness, that you can't reach something, that you're going to be by yourself. We're never alone. Even when we are alone, we're never alone because we have spirit with us. It's easy to feel like things will never get better. But how many times have things never actually gotten better? The universe, or this world, is kind of like the wheel of fate. Wheel of fortune? I can't remember. But it's always spinning, right? And these circles always indicate to us this these cycles, right? These circles. Things always go back around. And the wheel of fate or the wheel of fortune is really just about how transition is always happening. We just have to allow it. We have to walk through that door on our own. So let's not hold ourselves back by thinking that we're just going to end up alone, or thinking that we're too alone to handle what's going to happen. Something that you might need to acknowledge here. Another beautiful card. These cards are so nice. It's going to be the Judgment. So she has her trumpet, and she's sharing all of her information, all of her knowledge, all of her wealth with these people in the water. In the traditional tarot, they're zombies. These are people who are not living up to their purpose. These are people who are merely alive but not living. Here, they all seem like they're pretty alive. They seem pretty living. They seem like they're having a good time. So maybe something you need to acknowledge is, usually judgment is like your higher self and your higher voice, but something you need to acknowledge is that maybe with this transition, it won't be miserable. You won't be miserable and you won't be alone. You could be having fun like them. Maybe what you're getting ready to transition to won't be terrible. You won't be alone. Maybe things will get better. I hope. We can always hope. Okay. And in our last position, oh, this is nice. I like how when everything kind of just like moves back and forth, I mean, flows together, you know? So for your message from Spirit, you have the Two of Pentacles, which really just like reincorporates for me this idea of balance. This transition is going to bring balance into your life, but you need to practice balance and temperance to achieve it. I'm not really sure. I'm not an Aries, so none of this really resonates with me. But we are going to use my beautiful Shamanic Healing Oracle deck to clarify. Okay, so again, we have the universe in your own how you see yourself position. I don't like to shuffle these because they're beautiful and I don't want them to bend. So I'm just going to go ahead and give them, some of these are not the way they should be. Oh my, let's hope that's not your card. I should have done this beforehand. I'm very sorry. I had not realized that they were all so out of order. These are just wonderful cards. They're so pretty. Let's try it again. Okay, Aries, how you're seeing yourself right now, we said you felt like the universe, like everything was possible. Look at this. The card that came out for you, it says self-love. And it's just this heart flying between the sun and the moon through all these teardrops, or maybe they're raindrops. So we have self-love. And we have, wouldn't that be crazy? Oh, here we go. Oh, an ancient wisdom. The wisdom of the trees. I always think when I see these cards, it's really about grounding. Ancient wisdom. There's so much that the universe has to tell us that it's trying to tell us all the time, but we just can't slow down. We can't find that balance, that temperance, enough to slow down and just listen. So right now, you're feeling like the world is your oyster. You're feeling like either there's a transition coming or you're ready for one. And this transition is going to bring with it self-love and ancient wisdom. Some kind of grounding, some kind of balancing. So exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But we need to prioritize, our own feelings, right? So maybe one of the ways that we can prioritize this self-love and this transition, we said, was by, we're waiting for that news, okay? So we're just gonna sit back and we're gonna wait because something's coming, and it's been illuminated here a few times with the swords and our judgment card. Something's coming, transition. We're waiting for it right now, and that wait is going to require some balance. So let's see. What do we have for this Prince of Swords? Oh, psychic developments. I mean, if this is really news coming, this might not be news from another person. This could be something that you realize on your own. And here we have the Sun. I don't know about you guys, but the sun to me always represents a new beginning, a new day. And you had that in the self-love card too. The sun is a big sun. Let's see. Oh, and growth. Well, this is exactly what happens in a forest. You see these acorns here? That's what happens in a forest. Seeds fall, they may not be ready, but they fall, and they get to the bottom of the floor, and they get buried up, they get covered over. They're not taken care of very well. But with those seeds comes growth. And you need those seeds to grow in ancient forest. So to me, this showcases that maybe there's growth in your psychic developments that are coming along, and that temperance and that balance, that grounding you need, is going to bring in that news, that understanding, that clarity that you've wanted. And we talked about the ways you can show up for yourself. The way you can help yourself move forward is by gaining this balance, this clarity, this temperance. You know, so maybe you do need to focus a little bit on that grounding and thinking more about self-love. And that temperance is going to come to you. So here we have for the temperance, ooh. I mean, it's not wrong. Temperance is a struggle. We see this fish swimming upstream. We don't know what happened to the fish, right? I don't think this card is out of character. Sometimes temperance is a struggle. Sometimes finding balance is really, really difficult. Sometimes moving forward and letting things go is a really great way of gaining balance. But it's really hard. It is really difficult. It's okay, because Spirit is letting you know to go slow but steady. I don't know if you can see the words at the bottom down here. Look at this little turtle. He's on his way somewhere. He's moving through these water droplets and through these plants, which plants, again, I would think like grounding, you know, and his emotions. Stabilizing those emotions to get to his goal. Slow but steady wins the race. We have something to let go of. And the something that ways you can show your most authentic self. Ways you can showcase that authenticity. And we said it was by allowing these ideas to come to you, right? Maybe through your psychic abilities. Ground yourself, spend some time in nature, maybe different ideas will come to you. Or at the very least, change your environment. I know that I have been very homebody since quarantine started. I don't really like getting out anyway. But since quarantine has started, I've stayed home a lot more than normal. And just a change in environment, if I go and take my dog for a walk, really, it does change my day. Okay, so for this Ace of Swords, these ideas that you're supposed to allow to come to you, it says it's integration. I don't know if you can see the card. But we have this snake, and above him we have the moon, and it's rising over this little pond. Maybe there are things, like I said, that you need to leave in the past. Because the nighttime, the moon is going down. The moon's not coming up. You don't see any of the light that's shining, saying that it's a new bright night or it's a new bright day. This is something that's going away. And when we have to lose stuff, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to let things go. But this integration might just bring about these new ideas. And let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, this is just more confirmation. It says changes, and there's that wheel I've been talking about. I think the wheel just lets us know that life isn't linear. I know in the West, we tend to think that life has a timeline, you know, today, tomorrow, the next day. But if you think about it, time is kind of just an illusion. If quarantine has taught me anything, it's that. Time is an illusion. It doesn't exist. All of this is happening in my mind. I hope not. Anyway, so these changes are coming. They're coming for you, and accepting these changes, embracing these changes is going to be a great way to show yourself some more love, to explore that authentic side of yourself. No shade on anyone, but I know that Aries can be kind of impulsive. I know that fire signs in general can be kind of impulsive. So maybe allowing yourself a deep breath and just relax into these transitions will allow yourself to feel more fully all the aspects of yourself. We're all multidimensional. We are all multifaceted. We can all be different things. So we don't always have to be impulsive, and we don't always have to struggle to let things go. Change is coming, and we need to allow it to integrate into ourselves, because time moves forward. It's real. I was just joking, sort of. Time moves forward for everybody. And then we had something you needed to let go of. And we talked about how maybe this was the illusion that you are going to be alone if you make these changes. So let's see. These illusions. What do you need to let go of? This might be my card. It says you need to let go of some kind of sexual energy. Sex is great. It really is. I'm not dogging sex. I'm not even dogging your sexual energy, you fiery sign. Look at you, your fiery passion. But maybe something that you need to let go of is centered around this idea that to be with others, you have to have this sexual energy. We don't need to have that. People should appreciate you for every aspect of yourself, not just your sexiness. And let's see the next one. A sacred space. Okay, this is excellent. This is really great. I don't know if you can see the little words, but the words are not really that important. So we said maybe something you had to let go of was this idea that you could be alone. Well, maybe instead of letting go of that idea, we can like rephrase that idea in our minds. Instead of thinking, oh, we're alone, maybe we're thinking, oh, I have my own sacred space. A couple years ago, I got out of like a long-term relationship, and I hadn't been single for a while, and I was really kind of nervous because like I'd grown up with a big family. I never lived by myself. Let me tell you, it's addicting. Having your own sacred space, it feels amazing. Imagine coming home at the end of the day and not having to worry about who's watching TV on your couch. Imagine getting up in the morning and not finding anybody else's dishes in your sink. Allow yourself to integrate this change and to think of separation or being alone in a different way. Allow yourself to think of it as giving yourself space, not something you're losing out on. And something to acknowledge. So we said that it might be that you won't actually be alone and you'll have so much fun, and there could be some of that sexual energy. It doesn't look like that's what they're doing, but I mean, they are all naked in the water, so they could be having a really good time. Oh, okay. So something you need to acknowledge. Maybe it is time for a retreat. Words down here say retreat. And here's our little bird, and he's just hiding away. It seems like there might be a storm outside because a lot of these branches in the tree has broken, and there is snow. So maybe right now, in our cyclical way of thinking about time, right now is just still kind of your winter, or maybe your early spring. And what really is important is removing yourself from certain situations. Instead of thinking about it as, I have to leave, think about it as, nope, I have to retreat and regather my strength. Fire signs are full of strength. Maybe this retreat is just something that you need. Well, that's interesting. So for the last card, you got retreat, which was that little bird in his hideaway. And for this, you have the past, the present, and the future. It's another 3 birds. So whatever you're trying to let go of, or this transition that's coming, it might incorporate past and present and future. It might mean that whatever's coming for you is going to be a big change. And it might drastically alter the past to the present and then your future. It could mean that, I don't really want to talk about relationships, but like this is kind of the idea that I'm getting overall, is a change, moving away from somebody, feeling like you're going to have this solitude, but not really trying to focus so much heavily on that solitude. So if you are moving from a relationship, maybe realizing that in the past, there were things that needed to change. Maybe you were trying to change and it just wasn't conducive to a healthy relationship or to the relationship you were actually in, right? And these changes that are coming might be preparing you for something a lot better in the future. We can only hope, because your spirit message was balance. Something's coming in, some change is going to happen where you will gain better balance. Stability, Pentacles, Earth sign. So let's clarify this spirit message. You don't even need to see the words. Transformation. This is going to look beautiful on you. If you sit back and you allow these changes, this understanding to come to you, you're going to grow. You're going to transform into a beautiful butterfly. Aries, that's so cute. So much integration and changes and transformation. I'm really excited for you. Oh, well, this, see here now, this is just more confirmation, and I love when that happens. Also, this is a beautiful card. The Lotus, it says, stripping illusions. This could be illusions about anything. I don't really know exactly what this spread is for, but there could be illusions you have about being alone, or maybe the way that you dealt with things in the past, in the present, and how you can deal with things in the future. We never have to stay the same people. Like I said, in the West, we tend to think about time as like a more linear fashion. The past, the present, the future. But if we look into like almost any major religion or culture, they teach us that time is more cyclical. We go back around. If you're watching tarot, I'm going to assume that you believe in spirits and things like that. And I firmly believe that whatever I am inside of me is not this body, right? We can always change. We are not stuck in the time, I guess, is a great way to say it. So we move through life, and for each section of life, we do have a period, right? Like a season. We're not stuck in those seasons. We're not even stuck in ourselves. We can change any way we want to. And here, this overall message is telling me that change is coming for you, Aries. And a way to embrace that change, to allow yourself to just stop stressing about it, is really to just embrace this integration and these changes that are coming. Because in the end, it's going to help you transform into a beautiful little butterfly. I hope this is a really helpful reading to you. If you liked it, please hit that little subscribe button, or just like it. That'd be great too. Thanks, Aries. Have a good one. Bye.